The final chapter on JFK, Chapter 20, Segment 3, 4 or More.
Thanks for tuning back in. This segment is 4 or more, and it refers to the number of shots that were fired at President Kennedy during the motorcade. If there were more than 3 shots fired at Kennedy during the motorcade, it's a complete conspiracy. Now, the reason I have this title card up, which shows people fighting in court, is it reminds me of my days when I was a lawyer before retirement. And the best thing in the world as a lawyer, if you're trying a case, is if you have the other side fighting among themselves. And in this case, we actually have 2 different groups, the Warren Commission and the FBI with J. Edgar Hoover, fighting among themselves as to the pattern of shots that occurred in the Kennedy assassination. There was one person who was in the Warren Commission, who was one of their lead attorneys, a young Ivy League lawyer by the name of Arlen Specter, a lawyer from Philadelphia who probably knew a lot about law but knew nothing about rifles, bullets, or trajectories. But yet he was the person in charge of writing about the bullets that were fired at the presidential limousine on that day. And Arlen Specter came up with the single bullet theory, which resulted in the claim by the Warren Commission and a bunch of Warren Commission proponents that only 3 bullets were fired at the motorcade based upon 3 casings found at the Texas School Book Depository, and thereby somehow tracking all of the bullets that fired or hit or were near the limousine at the time and reducing them down to 3 bullets. The one problem that Arlen Specter had with the single bullet theory, trying to reduce the number of bullets that had been fired at the motorcade, was the fact that the bullet wounds in both Kennedy and Connally did not line up, and there was a pristine bullet or magic bullet, Warren Commission Exhibit 399, that could not be explained. If there were more than 3 bullets fired at Kennedy, Connally, or at the limousine on November 22nd, that would then prove a conspiracy of some sort, since 4 shots could not have been fired from the Mannlicher Carcano rifle found in the Texas School Book Depository. With that said, there have been many people that have made claims to prove that more than 3 bullets were fired on that day. People have said that one of the bullets may have hit a tree that was located on the motorcade route. Other people have made a claim that a bullet fired from the Texas School Book Depository or in some other building behind the motorcade hit the stoplight arm mast on the corner of Houston and Elm Street and ricocheted off. There have been people that have said that a bullet hit the freeway sign for the Stevens Freeway in the lower corner of the sign, and the sign was taken away. There have been claims that a bullet hit the concrete casing around a sewer manhole cover, and there are photos of FBI agents in the area picking something up. And there are photos of another person taken by the Dallas Star-Telegram showing bullet fragments in the grass in the plaza area after the assassination. There are claims that a bullet or bullet fragment hit a curb in the area, and there is actually cutting of a curb section. And of course, there are claims that there were shots fired from the picket fence in front of the motorcade route or on the bridge and railroad trestle overlooking the grassy knoll area. But like everything else, there's no proof. We can go to the limousine glass. A bullet going through the windshield is a claim made by many. We can go to the window frame on the limousine. where there appears to be some type of bullet hole mark or some type of forceful mark just above the visor's clip. There has even been an FBI envelope labeled Field Office 7.65 fragment, 7.65 shell. But that envelope, as part of the Kennedy assassination evidence, is completely empty. There are even claims that there was a .30-06 rifle found in the plaza, but that has never surfaced. There have been claims that various bullets have been found around the plaza area over the course of years, one in 1966, one in 1967, one in 1974, and all of those cannot be linked to the Kennedy assassination. With that said, the question comes down to, how is it possible to prove that 4 or more shots were fired at the limousine? Just like this segment's title card, 4 or more, the actual segment is going to have to be 2 or more. So I'll see you soon in the back half of this segment.